Can a Wolverine breathe in space? Let's find out. Welcome to yet another unboxing here on my channel, Angry Hero 79. I am Angry Hero Sean, or just Sean, whatever. I've got Wolverine Adamantium Rage. Oh, that's perfect. See, the title's right on the screen there for the Sega Genesis playing on the screen behind me here. That game's stupid. It's tough. But back in 93, 94 when that came out, and that's all I had for Sega Genesis, I made do. I was perfectly fine with this game. Actually, probably was later than that, 95, 96 that this game came out. So it's not an easy game. Today, I am opening an X-Men Classics Mutant Space Adventures Wolverine versus Cable from 2001, which is pretty remarkable considering how like past the basic, like the style of figures was pretty much done like well and good by the time 2001 rolled around. Yet here we are, just throwing this out there. Probably in Canada. I think this might be a Canadian gimmick of sorts. But yeah, this I got this off of eBay uh, pretty recently, and the reason why I had to get it is, well, I'll explain it to you after I open it because it has a lot to do with the variations of which the figures are inside compared to the ones that I already have because I am a nutso collector. So, but as you can see behind me, well, you can't really see, but I've talked about it many times. I have many a cable back here, many different cables back here, because I'm trying to collect all of the standard, not the Marvel Legends, but the just the regular cables that they put out. Because there's plenty of them. Because Cable was a hot property for Toy Biz and for Marvel, I guess back then. I mean, it never really seemed Cable was that popular, but he was pretty popular, and popular enough that they warranted at least 6 or 7 or 8 different versions of Cable. So, as you can see in this package, we got a Cable in here, along with the Wolverine, the Space Edition, which I believe is the 8th edition, but there's many variations on this one as well. And the package just a double package. Just has X-Men Classics, Mutant Space Adventures on the front here. I can't recall a time that Wolverine and Cable fought in space, but I'll take their word for it. If we're trying to sell toys, and I guess that's what we're trying to do. So on the back here, we've got some art. Got yourself Wolverine with slashing claws, as well as Cable with his space gun. This artwork actually looks to be pretty unique to this particular package. So we also get that. We also get diagrams on how to use these figures. These are pre-existing figures, so the instructions are pretty much the same. But there's a nice paragraph back here. Actually, an unnecessary paragraph because I don't really feel it tells me anything about why these two are packaged together. The first generation of mutants, known as the X-Men, were gathered by Professor Charles Xavier, a brilliant scientist who was secretly a mutant himself. Headquartered at Xavier's School for Gifted Youngsters, the X-Men test their emerging powers in the Danger Room. Their mission: use their powers to fulfill Xavier's dream of a world where man and mutant can coexist. Led in battle telepathically by Professor X, the mutants seek to protect a world that fears them and hates them from the forces of evil. The X-Men have quickly become a team that can count on one another when danger strikes. As much as a family as a team, the X-Men plan to be together for a long time to come. So this has nothing to do with the reason why Wolverine and Cable are squaring off against each other in space. It's just a waste of space as far as I'm concerned. But let's go ahead and crack this joint open. Yeah, I thought this would have been a Canadian thing, but I guess that would have been the Grand Toys. But maybe not. I think the Ground Toys also distributed some stuff out in Canada for Toy Biz. Which reminds me, so I'm very much looking for these Battle Blasters, particularly the Beast one, and those were only released in Canada. And I found a few so far, but they're like like after months of kind of just having them on like my saved searches, and it's like 70, $80 for like one of them, and it kind of disappoints me because I don't want to pay that much for a beast, but I might have to. Bam! Big card right here. Get that out of here. So here we go. We got our figures in the package. Let's go ahead and start with Cable. Of course, this Cable is a re-release, repaint of Cable number 2 from the X-Force line, the second X-Force. I believe it's the second X-Force series, or maybe the third X-Force series. I should probably really know this, but um, because there's a million Cables, and the second one they came out with was this orange and blue one that has a gun that just does this. That's it. Now, the reason why I had to get this is because not only is for comparison, let me bring out my actual version of Cable here. But for comparison, we have Cable 2, the mass-produced one. This one, you can clearly tell that the oranges are different. This is a much more neon orange, a much more pronounced orange. Probably a better. I mean, it looks like it could be a cheaper plastic, but I don't think it is. I think that's just the way it looks. But not only, but it's just, but that's the main difference you can see here. In addition to all that, you also have some differences with the belt representations here. So you can clearly see that the original Cable has a silver triangle and has a full, he has a silver deal here, and then he has the brown and the brown up top here. Now this one doesn't have the brown up top here, the brown strap up here, nor does it have a silver triangle. So it is minimally painted. And what so I had to get this because this is technically a variation on this Cable that was mass released. So I had to pick that up. Now, there's also other versions of this orange one, apparently. I guess it would be like a different color. Maybe it's a different color of this orange. I'm not entirely sure. I have to double check that, but if that's the case, I'll have to track this one down too. And I believe this one comes just on the Marvel Universe like standard card of figures, but I could be wrong. There might also be a variation on the weapon. Like these weapons are the same, and I think this one might be like a different gray that we're getting here. I don't really care if it's just a weapon that's the variation. I don't really care. I mean, a weapon's a weapon. It's the figure that I'm more concerned about. So clearly here, there's some variation. So I had to snap this up, and I didn't pay too much for it, but I paid what I think was probably fair for the amount of time that's been out and probably its rarity. So I hooked myself up with this. Also, another difference here on the back, I just noticed this looking at it. So this black backpack doesn't have as much silver on it. Actually, doesn't have any silver at all on it, whereas this one does. It's got, it's weird. Like it adds and subtracts from certain pieces of the original as far as where certain colorings are and stuff like that. So you can kind of see that pretty blatantly as you inspect it. But yeah, that's your Cable. So let's go ahead and get the Wolverine out. Now, normally I wouldn't be freaking out so much about these different variations of the Space Wolverine, but there are quite a few of them, and I decided that because I wanted to collect characters that just had like this Wolverine head, like the Wolverine 2 head of sorts. I think this might be a variation on it anyways, but because the face expression might be different. It's hard to really tell, but or it's not hard to tell, but it's hard. I look at it, and this part of me thinks it's different, and sometimes I don't. Like they have equal sneers. The difference, though, main difference though, is also in the shading of these figures. Clearly, this is a darker orange on this new version I just got out of the package, as opposed to the Wolverine, uh, #7. This is the original one that came as I think it was the God, I think it's the eighth Wolverine. Space Wolverine is #8. This is the original version of that, and he has clearly it's just yellow Wolverine paint, with his outfit, yellow and blue, with the black stripes, and darker gold on the space outfit. Also notice here black stripes that go all the way that go up the back here, and yeah, those are some of the differences here. But when you look at this new variation that I just got, you can see that the reds on here are a bit brighter. The blues are darker. The orange is darker. And there's also some variation on these stripes here. The stripes on this new one here kind of are. I don't know if it's just for this figure particularly, but you can see some of the looping of the stripes is a bit different. Like it's kind of curled up on different spots here, whereas it's not so much over here. And on the back here, there is no black that goes up on the back here. So yeah, so there's definitely a difference here. I mean, it's the same figure essentially, just a slight repaint touch up. Uh, it's also a darker gold, more of like a bronzish. Not quite though. There's also a version of this that's a much more muted or matte version, like a muted, like a not shiny version of this that I'm still tracking down. But yeah, here's a new variation on this Space Wolverine that may or may not have, maybe you weren't aware. I don't know, but you are now. So there is some differences if you're trying to collect all these Space Wolverines like I am. You're best to find your way to get this particular one because there is a difference in the shadings and just in certain parts of where certain pieces are colored in. So that's about it. Yeah, and of course the figure. He doesn't come with the sword, but he does come. And oh god, I almost forgot. So he has his knives, his claws. But I forgot to tell you. So this Wolverine, so the original Wolverine comes with a helmet. Helmet doesn't have. It's just a gold helmet with nothing on the glass, just the glass, right? There are variations of this glass or this top part that's colored in. So sometimes this is red or whatever this is. This is like a magenta. And then there's also purple versions of this. And also this is clearly a different color of gold. So, you know, the helmet so it matches the rest of this figure. So yeah. So variations abound. This is what it's come to for my life, telling you what versions of the Space Wolverine there are. But here you are. If you watch this video, please rate and review and give me a thumbs up if you like it. I mean, hopefully it's helped out. If you're trying to look up for variations of these figures you're trying to buy, you might actually learn something today. That's what I'm trying to accomplish here. So please rate and review. Tell your friends. Find me on Twitter at AngryHeroSean. And also, please check out my podcast, Worst Collection Ever, on Apple Podcasts or anywhere you get the show where I talk about comic books. That would be really dope. Thanks for watching, guys, and be safe out there. I'll talk to you soon.